Hey guys, this is Blake from RIP Tattoo Care, and I'm excited to announce that our full line of premium tattoo care products is now offered right here at Alamo Medical Distributors. At RIP, we're dedicated to using high quality natural ingredients that help with irritation, help you to heal your tattoos, and also even numb your skin for the tattoo process. Let's delve into what makes our products different. First, we have our pre-care with our RRP to Pain Numbing Cream. Our numbing cream is formulated to provide a pain-free tattoo experience, combining the numbing effects of lidocaine with natural extracts like wild mint and golden chamomile to help soothe the skin and prep it for a proper heal. Next, we have our foam cleanser, which is an antibacterial soap that cleanses gently without stripping natural oils from the skin and contains soothing extracts such as aloe vera. It's great for use both after and during the tattoo process and helps to reduce scabbing. Artists also love to use this product for foam reveal videos. Finally, we have our Tattoo Care Butter, which is a blend that combines ingredients like shea butter, jojoba seed oil, vitamin E, and beeswax to deeply moisturize your skin, reduce inflammation, and also protect the tattoo from infection. Our customers also love the cool down effect they feel on the skin. All of our products were made in conjunction with local tattoo artists and tattoo enthusiasts, and we're very excited to bring RIP Tattoo Care to Alamo Medical Distributors. Whether you're a professional artist or a tattoo collector, our products will help significantly enhance your tattoo experience so you can join us to recover in peace.
Welcome to Talking with Turu.
It's a cool little vibe, dude.
I like it too.
I like, well, most thing about tattoo shops is like they're always, when I say different, I mean like the look.
Yeah.
Like I guess you'll have like a fancy one where it's like, it looks just all fancy, and then you'll have like the contemporary ones, or you'll have the chill ones. I feel like this is a nice chill one.
This one's for the emo kids.
The emo kids?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's for you guys. All the emo kids.
That's it.
Well, sorry, it's for us.
Yeah.
Why am I saying you guys? It's us.
We's guys.
We use guys.
Use guys.
Oh shit. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Dude, so welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, man.
Finally I got a chance to get you in, dude.
It's been a while. We've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, I feel like the older we get, the more busy that our schedule kind of throws up all stuff, you know what I mean? So
Well, did you just get married or what
I did.
happened?
I did, dude. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I got married on paper. But I've known my wife since like I was 22. So I've known her for like 13, 14 years.
Okay.
And it's a funny story, dude, and I'll keep it short. But funny story, dude, I was out drinking, right? Because obviously that's what I did in my early 20s. Mm. And then I went to Jim's to go eat, and she was a waitress there.
At Jim's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim's, the one on Broadway. And like from what she says, dude, is that like I was slumped over, my eyes were kind of closed, and that I wasn't smooth at all. But from what I remember,
you were smooth.
I was pretty smooth. Yeah, dude.
You were like Jack Black.
Right. Like I was pretty smooth. Dude. Like when she looked back at me, I would just look down. But she says I would just go. Because she says that, dude. But whatever. So then I asked her for her number, but like she said that the reason why she gave me her number is because I was polite. I was like, hey, excuse me, you mind if I get your number? Blah blah blah, whatever.
$200 tip too. Kinda, yeah. We've all been there, dude. That's cool.
It was only $2, dude.
$200. Oh man.
2.00.
Damn.
Not 200.
She thought it was 200.
Right.
She ran the card for 200.
Yeah. And it obviously declined, but it's the thought that counts, dude.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. So then, a couple years go by, dude. I saw her a few times, and then like I didn't see her for a couple years. Last year, I saw her for the first time in 7 years.
Okay.
And then we just hit it off from there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool,
dude.
man.
I think when things happen like that, dude, it's more genuine. I think it's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, dude, I appreciate you asking, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congratulations. And it's your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And you're here spending it with me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, it's cool. Like this kind of stuff I live for.
Hanging out with me. I understand.
Yep. Yes, everybody. Yes, hanging out with Blake.
Yep. I get it.
That's the thing.
I've been told this many times. A lot of people, mostly guys.
Mostly guys?
Their birthday, mostly.
Okay, what do they tell you?
Solely.
Right.
But on their birthday, they would just want to hang out with me. That's it. They just
Okay.
were like, yeah, can we hang out? I'm like, I gotta ask my wife, But she says it's cool, so it's all right.
Okay. Is that true? Like, he has to ask you first before he hangs out with guys on their birthdays?
We don't need any studio audience.
Oh,
responding.
my
Yeah.
bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to ask.
This is just for the boys.
Oh yeah, my bad, dude. What I think? This is gonna be a good one, dude. So far, you've been pretty responsive. Well, actually, you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the Blake
reverse
show.
psychology.
It's the Blake show.
It's I'm nervous, and so when I'm nervous, I'm just like, let me take control of the situation.
Right.
So go ahead and tell me about your childhood.
Man, I think like
I was kidding, but you can.
it was like I want to say, but then it was good, man. It was good. You know, like I guess my dad showed love in his own way by just buying me everything because he didn't know how else to. But now I'm here. I'm 34. I'm gonna be 34.
That was the best biography.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about 5 seconds long. But dude, so the last time we talked, you told me that your family has a seafood business.
Yes.
Was it like locally here in San Antonio or like in the state of Texas?
So we're from Port Isabel, Texas. So that's going to be down like in the Laguna Madre area, base of the valley. But my family's been there for generations and generations. And we can trace like fishing licenses, oyster licenses, things like that, all the way back to late 1800s.
Okay.
Back then we were Perez, and it would just be passed on from father, son, uncle, nephew, so on and so forth, all the way to my generation. And we fished, we did shrimping a lot. That area is real big for like shrimping, or at least it used to be. It's kind of changed, like the oil spill and stuff like that. That changed a lot. But my grandfather's generation, well, not really his generation, really just him, and then my father's generation. That was when we moved from, shrimping's hard. You go out for sometimes 20, 30 days at a time.
Oh shit!
You're in the sun. You're not at home. You stink. It's hard work. And that's when they were like, you know what? Maybe we should move one step down the supply chain, and instead of being the people who actually fish, we will be the ones who procure it, and we'll find restaurants and individuals like with retail stores and stuff like that to sell the seafood to.
So like the distributor?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we were kind of like processor and distributor, and so we're in Port Isabel. We weren't making any money. We were poor for like, my family was super poor for like most of its existence, and then I can't remember why they decided to come to San Antonio, but at some point everyone moved over here, and we had a couple different locations. Like I was telling you earlier, we were like in Austin, we're in Dallas, Houston, but that's really hard to manage. It's really hard, especially then. I mean, you have to think about it. We had telephones, but we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
We didn't have, trackers on like our vehicles.
Oh,
we didn't have
That's
GPS.
right.
And so you're just hoping the driver gets there when they're supposed to get there, and you don't really know until they came back. Was there a problem or not?
That's just true.
So yeah, and then put that over several cities. That's really hard to manage. And there's 4 brothers, my father included, and then my grandfather and my grandmother in it. And so then at a certain point, probably when I was about 2 or so, so this would be like 94. I'm aging myself here for everybody.
Sure.
That's when we went central to San Antonio, and we said we can just send trucks out from here.
Okay.
And so we moved on from there. Yeah.
Okay. What is your role in the seafood family business?
So I'm not there anymore. I've gone out.
Oh,
on
that's
my
right.
own.
You said that.
But so my role was basically when I was like in high school, and then when I was fresh out of high school, I was managing a market. Okay. And so about this time, I think it was Toyota who came to San Antonio, and they opened up a plant. And
that's right, on Apple Road or Applewhite, yeah.
And so from that, actually, we got a lot of people banging on our door who wanted fresh seafood.
Dude.
Because we're landlocked.
Yeah.
And people want stuff that they can, it was a lot of Asian clientele. And they wanted stuff predominantly for sashimi. So they tracked us.
Right.
They tracked us down. Like they would go to sushi restaurants. Where do you get your seafood? We get it from over here. They found us. They banged on the door, and they were like, "Hey, can we buy fish from y'all?" And so then my family's like, "I don't see why not." So they started doing that for a while, and my grandfather actually came up to my market, and he was like, "Son, this is what we're looking to do. Would you be interested in it?" And at the time, my my older cousin, he was involved, but he was actually in law school. So he was kind of looking to get out and move on and go and work really for the district attorney at that time.
Okay.
And so then I was fresh out of high school. I wasn't very keen on college. I just never have been. I'm not anti-college, but just for me, I was like, nah, that's just not my path.
Yeah.
And they had always told me, because every summer growing up, I worked at the warehouse since I was 12. And they said, basically, we're going to bring you here so you see what hard work is. I'd work in the freezer, in the cooler, basically just freezing my ass off all the time. And they said, you're going to figure out you're either going to work hard and like do a job like this, or you're going to work hard and go to college. Okay. And so I was the only grandchild out of like all that who was like, I like this.
That's cool.
So I got brought in. I had the retail experience, got our POS systems in there and all that. And we started just doing retail. And that was the first time we had really done retail to that extent.
Okay.
Most of it had been wholesale. And it ended up growing to being I'd say about 20% of the overall company, but the profit margins are much higher. Okay. So wholesale, you're operating off pennies. It's just about the volume, but you're making like 10%. Where retail, you can make 50%. So, if you sell $100, you made $10 on wholesale, but if you sell $100 on retail, you made $50. So it kind of comes out that way.
When you say wholesale and retail, wholesale would be like Kingsford Charcoal and HEB's buying it wholesale from them, right? Or is Kingsford selling it to HEB?
It can be multiple things, basically. So it could be, like for us, predominantly it's going to be restaurants.
Okay.
So restaurants using it for their ingredients and things like that. But we also would take care of like Whole Foods, for example. We would do their seafood program for a long time. We did some stuff with HEB back in the past, but that relationship didn't really work out. But they're a big one. They like to get companies in and figure out what they do, and then they just do it themselves. So
that's so you see like the HEB ketchup and the HEB mustard.
Yeah, but I mean I get it. I love HEB.
Yeah.
It just I think my grandfather was not a fan of them because of that reason. But he took it very personally.
Yeah.
So basically that was the breakdown. Then the retail, it's just an individual like you or me or whoever walking in the store, and they go, I want a half pound of Chilean sea bass,
okay,
quarter pound of tuna.
Gotcha.
And then our little what was unique about us was you're coming to the processor. So while you're in our retail store, you can actually see us processing everything the other room.
Yeah.
And then we're getting everything ready, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds for restaurants all across the state. And so what you're getting then is fresh off that line. And so most places, they do just either retail or they do just wholesale. But since we did both, your retail is always getting the freshest cut. Any other store, it's pre-cut. So it's already cut, at a processor like us before it gets there.
Right.
It sits in that cooler oxidizing for several days, and then they just have it as sell it or smell it. And that's it.
Really?
Yeah, and so then it's like they're trying to elongate it as long as they can.
I see.
But it can't be as fresh as possible. You're always going to have up to a week longer on those items than you do at the source. So that was our little niche, and I did that with them for a decade, maybe a little more than that.
What was it that you gained the most out of doing that? Like, what skills did you think that you acquired while you were in that business?
I think innovation. I was coming in there and fishermen and just, I guess, my family, they're not tech savvy. So we didn't have a website. We didn't have what really happened was what was cool was I wanted to do shipping, and so I started learning how to build websites, things like that. So I got on Shopify. I started teaching myself that. I started teaching myself graphic design, to do ads on Facebook, things like of that nature. So I was always kind of just teaching myself how to do new things. And then where it really came in handy was when COVID happened, because COVID comes in and all of a sudden our restaurants are zero. It was actually my birthday.
Oh, shit.
It was March 13th. We had our biggest, and it's during Lenten season. So for people who know, during Lent, a lot of Catholics, Christians, they eat seafood every Friday. So for us, that's 40 days of just massive amounts of orders, because even your restaurants who don't usually sell seafood, they sell seafood during that time. San Antonio's a very Catholic city. So
That is true. Yeah.
we had our biggest Friday of Lent ever. It was Friday the 13th. It was my birthday. That Monday, we had $0 in sales from restaurants.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, zero.
And I'm sure that's never happened, right?
Never.
But that COVID came in one day, zero, right?
We would always talk that we were recession proof because everyone has to eat. And then all of a sudden this came in and restaurants were shut down.
Yeah.
And so then all we had left was retail. But people weren't wanting to come to the stores. And so at that time we had a media company too, that my father had started with my mom back in the day, and they had separated, but my dad still had that, and he was operating out of the same building. So I was the creative director over there, and I was kind of focused on that. But we shut that down immediately when COVID started. Kind of people were talking about it, and I was like, man, we got to get a website, and we gotta sell stuff on the website for curbside. And so all the little skills came together there, and I was able to make us pretty quick a website to do curbside spots.
Good.
We put little little signs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
They call in. I'm at spot number whatever. We'd have boxes of seafood. We have like order numbers on there, and we'd send people out to just put it in the back of the the trunks and all that.
Yeah.
No contact, and that's really like some of our competitors. They're gone. They couldn't. If you're just doing wholesale, that's it.
Yeah.
Your restaurants are gone.
Yeah.
And for us, I mean, you have to think about it. Our inventory is going to be close to $3 million. That's $3 million of product that's going to go bad if you don't move it.
Oh, shit.
So think about being a wholesaler and all of a sudden everything stops.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Chaos, bro.
What are you going to do?
Domino effect.
You just lost $3 million.
Yeah.
How many companies have $3 million in cash in their bank account? Not many.
Not many.
And so for us, we were able to keep things going, and that's what brought us through. We were able to hold on, and we were bringing in like toilet paper, stuff like that, because you remember back then it's like you couldn't find toilet paper, you couldn't find meat, you couldn't find cheese. We found eggs, we got milk, and then we have to figure out like, well, what do we price this at, and we were trying to be real careful because everyone was getting upset with people for price gouging, but the prices were so like up, down, all around. I mean, you didn't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then for us too, we're trying to make sure we make enough to keep paying our people. Because we had to let a large amount of our people had to let go. Because we had about 100 employees. And I think we made it through COVID with about 17. So just 17 key people. And that's all we could hold on to. And then as it got busier, we would bring people back. But it was tough. Like my family, they thought that was it. They thought the dream was over.
Oh, dude. I feel bad.
I mean, we made it.
Because they were like, fuck, it's the end of the world. We worked so hard for this. And like,
basically, I mean, who could have foreseen that? You know? But
nobody, dude.
It shows you how fragile things are.
Yeah.
I mean, just the supply chain alone, like your suppliers, if things aren't just moving, they go out of business.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think if there's one thing that I learned from COVID, dude, is that like anything is not guaranteed or it could be taken from you. Like right now, dude, I work for someone else. I would like to work for myself, but it's like there can always be something in the world to stop you, or you'll have to adapt, I guess. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad, dude, that you were able to like work around that and use the skills that you gained from being in a business in general. I feel like a lot of people, dude, they won't go out of their way to learn those skills unless they really want to. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, dude. If people are happy with what they're doing, like if they just want to work a 9 to 5, cool. Not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think that's for you either. So I think it's really admirable, dude, that you went out of your way to learn shit. And if I could tell you one thing, dude, is this. It's like buying all this gear, learning how to do podcasts and stuff like that, camera gear and all that. Like I went out of my way to learn and learn, you know? And I just think, dude, that like anybody who does that, like sky's the fucking limit.
I feel like people who do that, we get each other like real quick. You know, like there's just like this certain bond. It's like, oh, you don't just accept the status quo. You want to build, and like that's what I always tell my wife. I was like, I enjoy people who want to build. I don't like people who just deconstruct because all you are is a critic. Yeah, you know, and it's really easy to criticize people. Oh yeah, it's really easy to look at someone's plan and they're like, and just be like, you know, it's not the perfect plan. And I don't see a lot of value to that. You can always nitpick anything, but it takes some balls to say, here's what I want to do, and I'm going to make it happen.
Oh yeah.
And I think like business owners, entrepreneurs, people like you who are doing stuff like this, we all like click really quickly
Right away.
We realize, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, this is one of my tribe, you
Yeah.
know. And so that's like, especially doing like stuff with like RIP and all that,
Mm-hmm.
I've really come to you know, as I've left my family's like covering, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
I've really started to, I think, just I don't know, just jive with people a little bit more that way.
Dude, and I'm glad that you mentioned the RIP thing because
Sponsored by.
yeah, sponsored by RIP Tattoo Care. Visit www.riptattoocare.com. You like how I threw it in there?
That was a professional voice too. I don't. Let me try to say that.
No, go ahead. Let's see what you got.
Sponsored by RIP Tattoo Care. Go to www.riptattoocare.com.
Not bad.
Kono. What?
Going on 101.9.
Kono 101.9.
Next time, dude, you got to be like RIP Tattoo Care. Visit www.riptattoocare.com.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it, dude, because I think I don't know who followed who first, but I started noticing you had RIP Tattoo Care.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who has their own brand, their own company, their own product or anything like that, dude, like I look up to that, right? Because that's where I would like to be. And so my question to you is this, dude, like RIP Tattoo Care, dude. And then
Yeah.
we were saying like how you incorporated everything that you learned into there.
Yeah. So I've been getting tattooed since I was 17.
Damn.
So I always enjoyed I always wanted tattoos ever since I was a kid. You know, I would do. I was actually reminded the other day because I saw my kids drawing on their legs, and so they were like tattooing. And I used to do that, and I like draw on my hands and stuff,
Yeah.
and I thought it looked so cool. Even like in like middle school, stuff like that. I was like, man, I wanted tattoos. So I've been getting tattooed for a while, but I didn't get tattooed for a good maybe 3, 4, 5 years, and that was just because we got married, you know, we had kids, stuff like that. So, you know, priorities kind of took place. But then I started getting tattooed again maybe about 2021 or so. And when I did, I started seeing there's all this new stuff. Like Second Skin was one of the things that I noticed. I had gotten a cover up of an old tattoo on my neck, and the tattoo artist John Lopez, he put some Sanderm on me, and I was like, man, this feels so much better than anything I've been used to. And it was super helpful too because I hate the process of sleeping after a tattoo if I have to sleep on the tattoo, and when it's right here in the back of your neck, like,
dude,
you know, unless you're gonna sleep like on your face, it's gonna be
it's inevitable. It's gonna be touching the skin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he put that on, and I was like, man, this is so much better. Now I found out later I was allergic to it.
Oh,
so then,
shit.
you know, it had some drawbacks, but I started exploring. I started seeing more people they're going past that. Just put some Vaseline on it, or just put some, you know, Aquaphor on it, whatever.
Or bacitracin.
Yeah. It was like they were getting past that, and when I was in high school, my grandmother on my mom's side, she was an esthetician, and
that's
so
right.
so she would take me sometimes to these classes that would be about like skincare and stuff like that. And then, little known fact, I went to Aveda for like this high school program, and I think I was the only one in it.
Yeah.
But it had different things with like skincare,
Okay.
and it had stuff for, you know, your hair, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that used to be like a path I wanted to follow, and I ended up not doing that. But just the, you know, taking care of your skin, stuff like that, that kind of stuck with me. So I always say tattoo care really is skincare, because an artist is only as good as its canvas. And so if you want to have great tattoos, one of the things that you need to do, other than getting a great artist and making sure they do great work, is taking care of your skin.
Yeah.
So we started looking kind of into, would people be interested in something like that? And there were some other brands who were kind of doing that, but I felt like they weren't trying to cater towards the community that I had found in the tattoo culture locally. And like growing up as, you know, little scene kid, emo kid, all that, I was like, you know, it would be cool if we had like kind of our own thing.
Okay.
And I was working predominantly over, you know, with seafood. At this time too, I had a dog grooming salon that I was like a silent partner in. And so, you know, I was doing good with all of that. and I was like, I want to do something that's in a field that I really love, which is the tattoo industry.
Yeah.
And I want to do like giveaways and stuff like that.
That's
like I
cool.
want to use the product to fund like these cool little projects of
Yeah.
like give backs.
Okay.
And so I started working with guys like at Black Line Tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I started working with the guys like at Glass House Tattoos, and just learning more about what their needs are and what products could help.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
that was, I got my first shipment in of everything once I had, done the product design, the ingredients, the labels, all that stuff. I got it first in about May of last year.
Okay.
And then I just was like, all right, let's hit the ground running. And one of the big ones I got was numbing cream because I'm older now
Yeah.
and things hurt. Like, I don't know about you. I don't know how often you get tattooed or not, but
Yeah.
like everyone looks at me and they're like, oh man, he must be tough. He must, he must really enjoy. I hate getting tattooed. I hate it.
What do you mean, bro? You're covered in tattoos.
I have I get people who tell me like they like it. They think they're so weird. Like all power to you, great for you.
It feels good. I'm just saying.
It is not therapeutic to me at all. I
Oh.
hate that day. Like I hate it.
Are you like this?
I hate that. I don't just hate that day. I hate like the next 4 days because you're like healing and I hate that feeling of like a healing tattoo touching
Oh,
things.
that's right, dude.
I just don't like it. I like the tattoo after. Like
Yeah.
I like the end result, and so it's worth
Yeah.
it to me. But I'm just not a person who likes getting tattooed. And so then I start seeing people doing like numbing cream and stuff like that, and I start looking into it. I saw they were using lidocaine is the main numbing agent, and that's what we use too.
The drug, right? That's supposed to like numb it.
Yeah, lidocaine. But they were, and it's like a topical anesthetic. But what they were mixing it with was epinephrine, and that can give you heart issues.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
The artificial adrenaline, right? Epinephrine.
So and it's a vasoconstrictor is what it is,
Oh,
and so
okay.
it's to make it last longer basically. But I started going through all these companies, and they're well-known companies. You guys can go Google it yourself or whatever. There's all these letters from the FDA to these companies, man. And
fuck, dude.
coming from the seafood world, we were always third-party audited. I mean, FDA, we had to do HACCP plans, the whole 9 yards. We were always getting inspected. So like that to
Damn,
me is a
dude.
big deal.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah, we gotta be by regulation.
Right.
And then I even started seeing like I started talking to some people who I would get to like manufacture for me, and they're like, yeah, we'll put 50% lidocaine in there if you want. Well, 5% is the legal limit.
Yeah.
They go, we'll label it as 5%.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa,
What the
no.
fuck, dude?
And like
That's
some of these brands, they just straight up say it's 50%, it's 60, whatever. And I'm like, all right, that's. And people will recommend those. Like even artists recommend those,
yeah.
and 5% is the legal limit. After that, like you're buying a drug basically.
I love it.
So anyway, so I started looking at that. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what does lidocaine do to the skin? What kind of herbal extracts can we put in there to kind of help calm the skin down? And then I started bringing it in, started using it on myself. And what was really the test was my neck and my throat and everything.
Okay.
Because I had done one side of my neck and I hated it. It was terrible. Your neck moves so much, so the healing process was just terrible.
Oh.
You're in an awkward position. And it's just kind of, it's different skin. So then I was like, well, let me try some of the big guys' numbing creams on it. None of them worked.
Really?
None of them.
Really?
And like you can go to my artist, like I'm not just making up bullshit because it's mine. Mine's the only one that worked on my neck. The only one. I did them all the same way, everything. But like every time it wouldn't numb it. Or it would
Yeah.
numb it for like 5 minutes. Something like that, In certain areas, they numb better than other areas. The neck's a difficult one. The only thing I really had problems with ours was the front, but it's mostly because my beard, when I would move
Okay.
down,
Yeah.
it would basically eat the cream off the of the neck, and so then the cream's just all in my beard, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, I can't,
what it is.
that's just it is what it is.
Right.
But so anyway, so we got into that and. We hit the ground running, and man, we started just a year ago. We already have over 2,000 followers on our Instagram.
Oh, just a year ago, really?
Just a year ago.
Damn, dude,
yeah.
that's pretty
And so I
dope.
built the website and everything. I was on Shopify. I started doing, ads, logo designs. I know how to do
Dude.
SEO. I know how to do your PPC campaigns. I know how to do your meta ads.
fuck?
So I had learned all of that, from my previous experience.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I can, it's just putting two and two together.
Yeah.
And to some degree, every business is the same on that aspect. So then it was just really, what do I want to do? But yeah, that took us all the way to down today, and now we're here in our own tattoo shop.
Dude, and congrats, by the way, man, for getting the shop.
Appreciate that.
That's so awesome. Also, dude, well, not congrats, but like that's so fucking badass that you learn to do all that, dude. Because I know someone who outsources for that. Like, the 2 campaigns that you mentioned. Say it again. What they were?
SEO and PPC. So SEO is search engine optimization.
Which is like Google, right?
Google, yeah.
Okay. So I know someone that would outsource and hire someone else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you did it yourself. So now you're saving yourself money, right? So that way you're not paying someone to like put you on the Google ads and like on the search
Right.
engine.
Like I'll do all our Google ads. I'll pay some people sometimes. It just depends really. It really depends on if I'm like how busy I am. Like, do I want to devote my time to this or not?
Okay.
And that's kind of the big thing. But if I had to do it myself, I can do it myself absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do SEO. You can do that. There's on-site SEO and off-site SEO.
Okay.
Backlinks are a big thing, but basically, it's do you have relevance and authority in your field to Google, and that's what's going to help you rank.
Okay.
But that's how I made sure that I rank first when you Google tattooed DILF.
Oh, because the merch.
I put the SEO, and I was like, I'm gonna make sure when you Google tattooed DILF, other than all the things that are like censored,
right.
I'm what pops up first.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool, bro. That's so awesome.
I had a guy, I showed him that, and he goes, "Do you think that's cool?" And he was like making fun of me. I was like, "I think it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't know." I was like, I mean, it amuses me. If it doesn't amuse you, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
I feel like no matter what you fucking do, bro, like someone's always gonna have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the first person that comes to mind with this topic of discussion is Post Malone.
Okay.
And the reason why, dude, is because when he first started out, I talked so much shit. I talked so much shit. I'm like, mumble rapper this and mumble rapper that. But then when Beer Bongs and Bentleys came out, I'm like, okay, all right, my bad.
I love Post Malone.
Yeah.
Like I actually like in my truck I have a little air freshener that's just his little face.
For real?
Yeah, just hanging there. And we've had it. My wife got it for me maybe for a Father's Day. I don't remember what she got it for me for, but it's been there for a long time. It's very like sun faded. It's been there so long.
Speaking of Father's Day, dude, since no one cares about Father's Day, you'll probably get the same gift again.
Yeah,
Same thing.
I'll take it.
Happy Father's Day.
I'll take it. I'll take Posty.
I had some help. No, yeah. No, dude, but I think of Post Malone because, like, he was just doing his thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck am I hating so much? Then I woke up finally and I was like, I have no reason to hate on somebody who's making more money than me, making more music that's popular than mine.
Mm.
And then it also taught me, too, dude, it's like everyone's just going to have an opinion about what the fuck you do.
You know what I hate?
What's up,
I
dude?
hate those people. You'll just be doing something genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just be talking. You'll be hanging. You're just being a human, living your life. And they say this one word. It just pisses me off.
What's the word?
Cringe.
When they say it?
Yeah,
Or?
I hate when they say cringe. I hate people who just wait. They don't really have anything to contribute. They just wait for you to say something, and you're just being yourself. And they go cringe. Like what you're doing is cringy or whatever. I'm like, man.
Oh, what the fuck?
Or
dude?
someone makes you like. I mean, you make music.
Mm-hmm.
You may put your heart into a song. Whatever. And someone cringe. Well, what the fuck do you make? Like, what do you do other than just sit there and like wait to just talk shit and offer nothing? That's I mean, it's go back to like I like builders. I like creators. I don't like people who just deconstruct.
Yeah.
If you're just tearing things down. It's the people who tear things down that can never build anything.
Yeah. And you know what, dude? It took me a while to understand that people like that who have an opinion, like it doesn't really have any value what they say. Because it's not like they're doing what you're doing.
Right.
Then again, anybody who tries to put you down, there's no value in that anyway. But still, you know what I mean? That's like beneath that.
And it's different than like, I'm very open to like criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Like even today, it was like we're looking at doing like new logos and stuff like that here with the artists. And they're all way more artistic than me.
Yeah.
And that's something like I've always tried to, I really enjoy being basically the worst person in the room. And by that, I mean, I want everyone to be better than me at the things that I'm trying to do because I can learn from them.
So like in a positive way.
Yeah, in a positive way. Yeah.
Okay.
Like even like when I was in the seafood, I would always tell them my job is to hire people who are better than me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm directing things, I need people who know more than me and are better than me. If I'm the best person in the room, I need to go to a new room. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm learning nothing. So I'm sitting there, and I'm asking them like about these logos and what they think about it, and they're just kind of feeding into, yeah, I think I would do this, I would do that, and I like that kind of criticism. I just hate it when it's like, no, I don't like that. Well, what would you do? I don't know. Well, okay, thanks. And it's always those people who have nothing to like offer back.
Yeah.
they offer their criticism without being asked.
Yeah.
It's people who like you go to
That
them
is
and you
true.
ask them, then they're like, oh yeah, you know, I would do this, and it's like because you asked them.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have said anything otherwise. Otherwise, they would have just been like, oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
It's until you invite them to criticize
Yeah.
you, then they're like, okay. But the people who just openly criticize without being invited,
Yeah.
they usually have nothing to offer.
I haven't had that happen to me, dude, in a very, very long time. I don't even know what I would do if it did happen, like in person. I'd probably just be like, okay, well, thank you I appreciate your opinion, you know. I think I would just say that, dude. Just keep like that.
Yeah.
But I remember, dude, someone, because you know how I said it to Trent, but our band opened up for a lot of the Swancore bands.
Okay,
so
yeah.
like Hell the Sun, Kurt Travis. I wish we could have opened up for Dance Go Dance. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Who else, dude? Hell the Sun, right? And there was someone who commented on one of our videos or on YouTube. They're like, what did they say? They're like, oh, I see them open up for all these bands all the time. They fucking suck. Like, I can't stand the vocals. And when I read it, I was like, maybe I do suck, you know? But I like what I'm doing, though, so
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
You should, man. That's,
You know?
people hate, the people who have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, they're just unhappy with themselves, and
Yeah.
they're like, let me spread that around. I want everyone else to be unhappy with themselves too. I want everyone else to be scared to do anything too, because they do nothing, and that's just
It's not cool.
no, it's not.
It's not cool, man.
It annoys the fuck out of me if you can't.
Yeah.
tell.
No, for sure. I see you're like, you want to rip the chair apart, dude.
Yeah,
I got
exactly,
you.
exactly.
And you know what? The old 20-year-old me, dude, would have been negative and saying things. I'm not saying cringe. I never said that. But I'm glad that I grew out of that, dude, because as I started to get older, dude, I understood the value of, like, earning a way up with something you really want. Earning something to provide for people you care about. And when I started to understand that, dude, I really, like, instead of, like, judging people for, like, doing the same thing if they have the same podcast, or, like, let's say if I had a taco shop, they have one too. So I'd be like, oh, fuck those motherfuckers, I'm trying to do this. I'd be like, dude, fuck yeah. Like, everybody should be doing this. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad that I have that mindset now, dude. And that's why when I saw you doing your thing, I was like, I got to talk to you, man. Because I just look up and admire anybody who's so driven to do something with their life that has meaning to them, but also everyone outside of you notices it and feels it. So it's like a really good feeling, dude, because like it's just like a whole positive fucking thing, dude, you know? And with the RIP Tattoo Care, dude, I really love what you're doing, man, and thank you so much for being a sponsor. Sponsored by RIP Tattoo Care, by the way. Sponsored. But I like it, man. And I hope that I can learn some things from you. And if there's one thing that I've learned, I say this on almost every episode, dude, from one of my guests. She said, you'll never get anywhere volunteering your free time.
Yeah.
Because of that, dude, like I feel like it's opened up a lot of opportunities because I don't expect anything in return. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, cheers.
You fucking, oh shit. Yeah,
There we
cheers,
go.
dude.
Ghost
Cheers.
Energy.
Not sponsored by Ghost. Sponsored by RIP Tattoo Care.
If they want to sponsor me, they can though.
Oh, dude, speaking of sponsors, man. Okay, so like, well, before we get to sponsors, I remember my next question. Is this your first brick and mortar?
No, it was. I had the dog salon before. Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, I still have it. We're in the process of selling it.
Okay.
But that was like an experiment for me. That was my first like, let me venture out into the real world and try my hand and see if we can be successful at this. And
as far as running a business? Like,
yeah, running a business like on my own, which with seafood, I ran it, and we had, like I said, we had like 100 people there. I mean, it was a large, it was a corporation.
Okay.
And
Sick.
so then we went from that to like, 2 dog groomers. I was like, this is nothing. But now over there, they got like 4 dog groomers. It's very successful. The one who's going to be the new owner over there, she's taken charge of everything, and we're in the process of like kind of handing everything off. And it's going really well. So I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of just me and my business partner, and just just the learning process of everything. And so with that sale, that's when I was like, I really want my own tattoo shop.
Okay.
I want something where I can.
That's so cool. That's so awesome.
I want something where I can push my product but also where, I mean, just like Friday the 13th was yesterday, we gave away, I
Oh,
think.
how'd that go?
It went well.
Good,
And we
good.
gave away, I think, 3 free tattoos.
Good,
We
good,
did
man.
Lucky 13 tattoos.
Right.
And so,
From the little list or whatever, right?
well, basically every artist made their flash designs, and these were all like designs that are like anywhere from 100 to, I think the most was like $300. And I just went through and I picked my favorites. We didn't care about pricing or anything. Whatever my favorites are, those are going to be free. I'll pay the artist myself out of my money to fund if anybody picks those. So then they look at it, and people would be like, "Oh, I want the shark," or "I want this," or whatever. And then as they come to pay, it's like, "Hey, actually, this has been you picked the
that's
right
cool,
one.
dude.
You get the
Yeah.
lucky 13 one,
Yeah.
and it was one per artist, and so I think 3 of them got picked.
Okay.
And so yeah, and then one lady, she was like, "Man, I never win anything," and it's just like this cool, it's this cool like moment. She's like, "I never win anything, and now I got this free tattoo and all this stuff," and so that's why we got into RIP. I know how much a tattoo can mean to somebody, and so we were even doing free. That's why we started doing like giveaways with our sponsored artists and stuff like that. Last year, we went right into that, and it was just because everyone's hurting, money's tight,
Yeah.
economy sucks,
Yeah, dude.
and tattoos it's really like a luxury item. But I mean, I'm sure like a tattoo can mean the world to somebody. And so if they worked hard, and they're like, okay, now I can afford this.
Yeah.
They go to get it, and then they go to check out, and it's like, actually, it's free. They're like,
Oh, so it's like, oh, I could use that for groceries now or for gas.
dude,
you
a
know?
lot of
Like,
things, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had one girl, she got emotional once. We did it. I think we did it
really?
at Blackline Tattoos, because we've done this before at Blackline, and this is the first time we did it at Crows here since we took over. We're like, perfect timing. Let's do this one,
Yeah.
and we'll do more too. So
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that you were working at Blackline.
I wasn't working there. I'm real close with John. He's the owner over there.
Okay.
And we that was our first shop where it was actually just right behind the seafood place. And so I would walk out of our dock and just walk right into Blackline. So I was always going back and forth. They were the first ones to start carrying RIP.
Okay.
And so I would come there with my cases and stuff, and they were always super supportive.
Yeah.
Everybody there was super supportive,
That's good,
super
man.
friendly. If I'm going to recommend any other shop other than my own now, it's always going to be Blackline forever. I know. I think sometimes they were like them and some of my other artists. I'm pretty sure they're probably afraid that I may not recommend them anymore. I'm still going to recommend them
Yeah,
because
it's like, I got your back, bro.
yeah, they've been there for me, and they've tested products. Like I'll be like, hey, try this glide out, see if it works well with your style of tattooing, things like that. Try out this aftercare, and they give me feedback.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this works, this doesn't work, and that's crucial to me,
Right.
Because I'm not a tattoo artist.
But you're a tattoo enthusiast, I would say. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like mostly tattooed now.
So I know that you mentioned to me like someone might have an opinion that you're the new owner, but you're not a tattoo artist. I would say that you love tattoos, so why not, dude? Like
Yeah.
you're in the field, you're in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, there's probably pluses and minuses. There's pluses and minuses to an artist being an owner. There's pluses and minuses to a non-artist being an owner. I think probably one of the minuses to an artist being an owner is if they have a good following, what are they going to be doing with 90% of their time that they're working? They're going to be tattooing. So they're not going to be working on SEO. They're not going to be working on marketing. They're not going to be working on
too many hats, right?
Too many hats.
Okay.
So then they could hire somebody, and that might be great, and they may have a really solid person for that. But a lot of them don't. A lot of them try to do it on themselves, so then they can be overwhelmed. And then while they're tattooing, that's the other thing. Maybe they're busy, but their people aren't. So as they're tattooing, are they focusing on the tattoo? Or are they thinking bills are coming up, and I got 4 people out there not drawing, not posting, not working.
Yeah.
And if they're just on like a split, they may if that artist does $0 that week, he makes $0 off them, but he's still got to pay that rent, the electricity, supplies, things like that.
Yep.
So, but there's obviously there's got to be pluses too, and I agree with that. Especially being an artist, like you probably understand the artist better,
Right.
But for me, most jobs, the owner does not have the same job as the people who work there.
Dude, okay, quick story. I don't mean to cut you off, but someone made a post on, and sometimes on the internet you can't believe everything that you see, or it's out of context, right? Somebody posted a girl behind the register of Wendy's wearing regular clothes, and he was laughing at her. But the backstory was that she owns that fucking Wendy's. and she was trying to learn how they do the job there.
Mm-hmm.
So she went out of her way, dude, to see how everything works. I thought that was fucking badass.
Yeah.
Dude. You know what I mean? That's so cool.
No, I thought that is cool, and like a lot of times, people at the top or whatever, they don't know how to do all those things, and I get it. Like you said, too many hats. Like even when I was learning websites, I remember one of the guys I was using. I was using him to help me with our website at the time. He was like, "Man, why do you want to keep, trying to figure this stuff out?" Now I think what it was he was afraid I was gonna basically not need him anymore. But he was like, I mean, he's like,
"Oh, please, you need
he's
me."
like, the guy who owns Rolls Royce, he doesn't know how to make one.
Hey,
And I was,
yeah,
and I was like, yeah, but, and this was before COVID, and I was like, yeah, but it's probably just good for me to loan. And that was something like,
I like that, man.
like my grandfather, when he would bring me in, first thing I did when I was at the seafood place is I was packing oysters.
Okay.
So it's cold, it's wet, it sucks. After that, you start skinning fish. After that, scaling fish. Finally, you get to filleting fish. And the big thing was always, if everybody comes in, they quit one day, the family knows how to do every job.
Oh, yeah,
and we can all
dude.
just batten down the hatches and make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's why actually, like as I came over here, Cruz Foster, who's the former owner, and he's still here as an artist. I told him, I said, man, I want to learn how to tattoo at least a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not going to be my forte, whatever. But I want to at least know set up, break down, how to tattoo, things of
Dude,
that
that's
nature.
fucking awesome, dude.
I
I love
already
that.
know, have a lot of probably like more knowledge than the average, like lay person, let's say.
Right.
But I want to know. I just want to know a little more. I'm never gonna be some like phenomenal, tattoo artist.
Yeah.
That's just not my talent. But I'll do black work for sure.
Hell
I told him,
yeah,
I said,
dude.
I'll learn how to do blackouts for him.
Dude, if you want to tattoo me, bro, like I'm down. I'll be
Okay.
your guinea pig.
Okay.
So one thing that I do on the podcast, dude, just giving you a heads up, is like while the guest is talking, questions will pop up in my head and I'll try to save it. At the same time, I think that's my ADD brain. At the same time, focused on what you're talking about.
You're good, bro.
So before I forget, dude, one of the questions that I had, bro, that I'm really, really like interested in hearing. When I was young, man, I wasn't very, very driven to do much. I partied a lot, dude. When I was growing up, my parents were very, very strict. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. So my weekends consisted of video games, like going to Hollywood Video,
Yeah.
getting a video game in a movie.
Old school.
Yeah, dude, for years, up until I was like 17. So, like everybody's going to parties and everybody's doing things. I could never go out. My mom was like, you can't stay the night anywhere, but they can stay here, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when I turned 21, dude, I kind of like went crazy. Also, I feel like I never really learned how to manage money, man.
Okay.
I think I've said it before in a couple podcasts, and I try not to say it too much because I don't want people to know that about me. But I'll be honest, for everybody watching and for you, dude, is like, I still do not know how to manage money. Even with my LLC, dude, like I still do not know how to manage money. So one question that I have for you, dude, is like, I know that you were in the family business with the seafood, but what was it that pushed you to be very, very smart with your moves? Because you could tell me your story, but from the outside looking in, it seems like, dude, like you had the right mindset to get shit done. And I wish I did, because I feel like I would be in a better place financially now. But I feel like, I shouldn't have any regrets. However, when I hear your story, dude, I really look up to it. So what was it that pushed you to do that instead of fucking off? Because I feel like you didn't fuck off, dude. Like you were doing the right things.
I fucked off a lot when I was in middle school and high school.
Okay.
But I was very I was very Nietzsche in fucking high school, and I was like nihilistic as hell. Like
Okay.
I was just like, nothing matters, nothing lasts, everybody dies, we don't matter after that. And that really impacted my thinking. You hit what you aim at, and I was aiming at basically oblivion.
Okay. I like that. You hear what you aim at. Okay.
Yeah, and to me, I was just like, I was aiming at a void. So
Like nothing. Just
Nothing.
I'm gonna be nothing.
I'm gonna be
emo.
nothing.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be emo as fuck.
I'm gonna be nothingness. Yeah, I'm gonna listen from first to last. But
Note yourself, I miss you terribly.
this is what we call a tragedy.
Come back to me.
Back to
to me.
me.
To me.
But no, I think it's multifaceted, man. I think my mom plays a really big role in that, because my mom is like this force to be reckoned with. My mom, she was like, when I was a kid, maybe 3 or 4 years old, I was going places with her because she was cleaning people's houses. She was doing all this stuff. And like her sister made a doctor. So she was super wealthy. And I remember going over to like, this is like a core memory. I remember going to like my aunt's house.
Yeah.
And her daughter was there, my cousin. And I had these shoes on and she was like, oh, those are like Nike wannabes. And I'm like a little kid. But we can't afford Nikes, you know. And so they were like, this is like, they're the knockoffs, you know, whatever. And then they thought that was like so funny. But, you know, my mom was busting her ass. I think when my dad was telling me like they would have like $20 extra a week. I mean, like nothing.
Yeah.
Like he's working real hard with the seafood. My dad was even like homeless right before he married my mom. So we had like nothing. Okay. My mom's over here. She's trying to clean houses. She's trying to do this. She starts doing Avon. She starts being like one of those little Avon ladies. She starts doing something called Welcome Wagon. Okay. So you go to like the new places in the neighborhoods in your area, and you give them like a little basket, and it has like stuff for the local businesses around, like coupons, stuff like that. Okay. But she would just drive around and be like, okay, that looks new, that person's probably new, let me go to, and she would just walk right up.
So she took initiative and did that.
Dude,
that's so
then
fucking cool.
She was like, well, what if I do my own newspaper? And it became Welcome Home Magazine.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how to make a newspaper.
She learned, didn't she?
Her and my dad learned.
That's so cool.
They were like, we're gonna make something happen. Yeah. And it didn't work. All of a sudden, boom, it pops off like real good. Yeah. And you know, everyone made fun of her. Everyone, like, I saw it, you know. But my mom was just she was just such a saleswoman. She would not take no for an answer, and
she had to give the gab.
She had to give the gab, and she's persistent, man. She's just persistent. Like she's gonna figure out, like, if she wants to go from point A to point B,
she'll make it happen.
She's gonna get there. It doesn't matter what. And so she just did that. So I saw that growing up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my dad was more of like the organizer. Okay. Like he was the one who actually learned how to paginate the magazine and stuff like that. And he taught me then how to paginate magazines and stuff. But he was kind of that organizer, that force behind my mom's just fire, you know, going out and trying to take over the world.
Like the backbone, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
And so like that was kind of like in my past and in my childhood. My grandfather, you know, there's that entrepreneurial spirit, which is like risk taking, but calculated risk taking. Okay. You know, like
not by impulse.
Yeah.
Real calculated.
Slow but sudden mover.
Yeah.
And so then for me, you know, I pull myself out of like just nihilism and things of that nature, and I start seeing more of like really legacy. Like my grandfather was big on legacy. It's all about, you know, for the ones who come after, so to speak.
That's so cool.
And so he's building, my mother's been building, my father's been building. I'm seeing all these builders, and I really admire that. And I'm like, that's what I want to be. Good. But it was hard because, again, I'm the only one in my family, didn't go to college, didn't do anything like that. Even like my sister's actually, she did mortuary science. She's a funeral director. Okay. And so, tough job, right? Like she actually, my grandfather just passed, like I told you, and she's the one who took care of the entire funeral, everything. I mean, that's a strong woman, because my grandfather was like our second dad. Yeah, you've heard me probably bring him up quite a bit already.
Yeah.
Because he helped raise us when my parents were working. He was there, the one who was with us. And he was teaching us how to tie knots and stuff like that, like fishermen do and all that. Yeah. So anyway, you know, I'm getting older, you know, 21, 22, you know, 23. And I'm like, man, I need to learn these skills. And I became very proud of the idea of legacy and the family business, because really, how many family businesses are even left like in our country, you know, that have gone from a generation to a generation to a generation? Very few.
Very few. Man.
Very few. Usually you have a weak link.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to be the weak
link.
In
the family, and that's where it stops, right?
It stops.
Family business is done because that's the weak link.
That's what happens. It's very hard. Either you if you're very successful, the next generation spoiled, very spoiled. They don't know how to do anything. They don't have to work hard. They just it's given to them, and then they don't know what to do with it, and they squander it. You know, and then if you aren't successful, well, then you're handing something that's not successful over to somebody, and that's sometimes doomed to fail too. So it's kind of like, you know, there's not like a perfect situation there.
Right.
And so like I took it upon myself. I was like, man, I don't want to be that weak link. I want to continue that forward. Dude. And that was why my grandpa even brought me in. He was like, this is about the family. It's always been about the family. We want to see that go to the next generation, because in the warehouse where we are, even still today, that's actually where I grew up. I learned how to walk there. My grandfather would take me around with a fly swatter, and I'd hit the flies with him because there's flies everywhere because of seafood. And I lived in that, we call it the fish house. I lived there. So then I start having my own kids. And if you really want to, I mean, you probably know this because you have kids. If you really want to start looking to legacy or past yourself, you have someone who's more important than yourself, which is your children.
Yeah.
And so then all your actions are like, doesn't just affect you. And like you said, maybe you're going out and you're going to Hollywood Video, or whatever. Well, it's just you. If it just affects you, whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone knows if something starts affecting the kids, that's not good. Or at least people should know. And so for me, it was, I need to build something like what was built for me.
For the next.
Not just for my kids, but their kids. And if they want to be a part of it, fantastic. If they don't, I'm going to give them every leg up they can get. Like some people, they'll like hate on, they'll hate on other, they'll hate on people that basically, they got a leg up on everyone else. I will never hate on someone for that. First of all, I got that big time. And I grant that. But I want to be able to, I want everyone to be able to give a leg up to their child. I want everyone to be successful and everyone to have that generational.
To eat at the same table, dude.
Yeah. Like I don't want anybody to be hungry. I want everyone to have that generational wealth.
We all eat.
We all eat, exactly. And so like I'll never, people always make fun of things that are like good, and it's like I'm not gonna make fun of that. Yeah, like that's a great thing. I'm happy for them.
Dude, there's this damn it, that's fucking awesome, man. Before I say what I want to say, dude, like Blake, like dude, everything you told me, man, that dude, I fucking look up to that so much, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why, dude, is because I just feel like I made so many mistakes when I was young. And because of that, dude, like I feel like it kind of hindered my potential to get where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? But also, dude, it's really nice to hear that like you had a very, very driven, supportive family. My dad came here, dude, when he was like 11, didn't speak English. He got his citizenship because Ronald Reagan gave him amnesty. Okay. Right? So thank God for that, dude, because like I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when we were young, dude, there wasn't like a lot of money. I don't think we were like poor, but we were kind of like there. And then he got a job, but his thing, dude, his mentality, and I feel like it's like a machismo Mexican thing, dude. It's like you just gotta work. Like you can't start your own business. You can't do anything risky. You can't like think for yourself. You can't like, and he probably won't admit this, and he'll probably never say it out loud. But from the outside looking in, dude, I admire him for being very hardworking. But I feel like we had cards dealt differently in life, right? So you came from a family that like started their own business, and I feel like that was the backbone for you to be influenced and driven to like be successful in your own way. Now, I could say that like I could be successful in my own way too, the way that my father did, but it's not for me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, dude. Like, work long hours, get your CDL, cool, dude. He pressures me so fucking much, dude. And then I'm over here thinking like, fuck, man. Well, I was born here and I'm not making as much as him, and he came from another country, and what the fuck? But I just feel like at the same time, dude, I didn't have that support, that backbone, dude, that you did. It's not an excuse, because I could still do it anyway. But I feel like because of that, like I didn't start off
right
in a good way.
It's harder. No, but it's harder. Dude. Like we're the products. We're not solely the products of our surroundings, but it influences us.
Like product of our environment. That's saying, right?
Exactly. Like we're not. It's nature and nurture. Like I think it's kind of both, but nurture is nurturing. It shapes you as a kid and all that. But it's never too late, man.
Are we good on time? I'm sorry. 2 minutes. Okay.
But it's never too late, you can always. What you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I know you're doing stuff with like your music and all of that. I don't know exactly what all of your dreams and aspirations are, but just being here, man. I think you're killing it.
Thanks, dude. And like being around people like you is something that I really feel like I need, but I also want. Like, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I have my wife now. She has her kids, and I have my son. But I feel like there has to be a certain balance between like marriage and then like spending my free time being creative, coming up with ideas, or spending it around successful people.
It's kind of like
You know what I mean?
it's kind of like we were talking about working out. You
Mm.
know, I was probably trying to work out for, gosh, 6 years. I think
Okay.
yeah. It's 2025. I think I started working out around like 2018, 2019. But I was working out with guys who it was it was whatever to them. It's like they go to the gym, they kind of sit there, they're on their phone, doing whatever.
Cassie, thank you so much. Okay, you were going to the gym, and dude, I can't stand that either, because like I'm there on a mission,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just see one pump, and then
Yeah. And
I'm
so
like,
and
what the
so
fuck?
but that's
Like,
what
why?
that's what I surrounded myself with. So I
Okay.
was always going against the grain of my surroundings,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting like a little bit of gain, but like it was here, there, and then I'd fall off. And then I fell off for a long time.
Mm.
And then like this year, when I went out on my own, and I was going to do my own thing. I'm going to focus on RIP, and I
Nice.
was like, I'm going to get a tattoo shop. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. One of the things I promised myself is I'm going to start working out. I want to start working out. I want to be healthy.
Okay.
We got the news. We're going to have our third baby coming, right around that time.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. And I was like, I want to be healthy. I want to see my grandchildren. I want to see my
Right.
great-grandchildren. I just want to start eating right and all that. Well, then I surrounded myself with guys who were like not quite bodybuilders, but these
Yeah.
guys are in the gym like religiously.
That
And like,
mindset, dude. Fuck
and
yeah.
it's like, and so then all of a sudden I surround myself with them.
Yeah.
And they're pushing me and they're pulling me along.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden I start seeing like, well, man, my stomach's going down. I'm getting stronger. Like I'm feeling better. My mental's, it's clear. I can
Yeah.
think more clearly.
Clarity, bro.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, you got
clarity.
clarity,
I'm
man.
sleeping better. I'm eating
Yeah.
better. All these things. But it's very hard. It's that crab, the crab in the barrel mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like just the other day, we worked out with somebody, and I was annoyed, man, because we were there, and it was his first time working out like in a while. So like I get it.
Okay.
He's not a bad guy. He's
Yeah.
a really funny guy,
Right.
but I felt annoyed on the level of I've put this time aside to commit to this. Like I told, no matter what, I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna work out at this time
Yeah.
on these days, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it happen. So we're there, we're working out, and like he's skipping sets. He's, it's his turn to go and lift, and then he's like on his phone or he's complaining that he hurts, this or whatever. And I was like, man,
I'm already
like,
pissed off right now. You telling me?
and I'm
dude.
just like, I can't stand it right now,
Yeah.
man. I'm here on a mission,
Yeah.
just like you said.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you can apply that principle all over.
Yeah.
If you want to be like somebody, surround yourself with people like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have, and like you said, maybe, and I don't really know you said it was your grandfather who came here or your father.
Oh, my dad.
So I don't know y'all's story. I don't know if he's a great guy to you, whatever guy to you. But if that's not necessarily who you want to be like, you can't choose who your dad was. You can't choose who your family was.
But I can choose who I am.
You can choose who you are. And you can also choose who you surround yourself with.
Yeah. So I will say this, dude. Like, you're right. It's not too late to change it, and I think that's still a work in progress. But I'm glad that I'm self-aware, and that I'm aware enough, dude, that like I'll stay away from certain people.
Mm.
Some people I've cut out of my life, dude, for a reason, because I feel like they're doing the same thing, going to the same places, and they're happy. I'm not, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, go do your thing. I don't hate you. We're not gonna be stopping friends because of it. But you're not contributing to like what I want to do to better myself as a person. Now, here's the thing, dude. Like, in this time of my life, bro, it's kind of like 50-50 because like I'm driven to like be successful as possible, but some of my bad habits are kind of like still lingering, which I can kick. You know what I'm saying? But it's like what you said earlier, dude. It's like, it's not too late. I would like to think that I've been spending my time around successful people, like you, for example, even just a few minutes, dude, or like another owner of a business or anything like that. I try to spend as much time as possible so I can learn. That's why when I ask you these questions, dude, I get excited because it's something that I really want to do. And then when I see that you're doing it, dude, like I get excited for you. Like I'm on that same wavelength, dude, that you said that like I want all of us to eat at the same table, man. Because when I see someone fucking succeeding, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I get excited for them, dude. I don't hate. You know what I mean? When I see somebody like get a deal with a record label. Or one of my buddies, dude, he did a design for Avril Lavigne. I was like,
nice.
wow, I was like, dude, are you fucking serious? Like,
That's awesome.
and then they pitched him to other artists. So like, I'll keep hitting in the fucking mic. Other artists, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I want to be around people, dude, that we're gonna bring each other up, man.
Yeah.
You know, so when I ask you about the seafood and this and that, dude, it's because I genuinely want to know. And everyone who's listening and watching, like, I feel like they might get inspired too, man. And going back to what you said, dude, it's like I know who I want to be. The hardworking part about my father, dude, that's something that will for sure be instilled. Even my wife says, dude, I'm like door dashing, I'm like bartending, and then I have my 9 to 5. But someday, dude, I would like to be on the same level that you're at. I feel like it'll come, but like I'm putting all the good things into one spot. You know what I'm saying? So.
And it takes time, man.
Yeah,
you just
that
gotta-
too, for sure.
It's that slow, gradual growth, and then you look back 6 months, you look
That
back
journey,
a
dude.
year, and you're like, oh wow, you know.
Yeah.
But it can get very, it can get discouraging. You know, it's
Right.
kind of it's kind of like checking your weight every single day,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, I actually gained weight today. You know, like what the fuck? But then you know, if you look in 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, it's like, oh wow, no, I am progressing. It's just we don't progress as quickly as we like sometimes,
Right.
but that's just, it's kind of like you said, it's about the journey.
Right.
What you're gonna remember is the journey.
Dude, so the way I look at it is like this, man. Everybody brushes their teeth in the morning and at night, right?
They should.
They should. If you apply that same thing to brush your teeth in the morning and night to everything else in life, dude, it'll come like this.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it.
yeah,
Because like you're like, oh shit, I gotta brush my teeth. Because we've been taught since we were kids, right? You gotta brush your teeth. I feel like if like, oh, I gotta go to the gym, or oh, I gotta check that email, or oh, I gotta get that meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like success will come.
sponsored by
eventually.
Colgate.
No, we're not sponsored by Colgate. They're gonna sue me, dude.
Oh, shit. Not
I'm playing.
sponsored by Colgate.
Dude, there's so much more questions I want to ask, man. And Blake, thank you so much for your time. We're coming up on an hour and 10 minutes, but I think we should do it again this time when I have like the other camera too. I mean,
Yeah.
this looks nice, you know. I hope you guys like it, but thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely,
I
man.
appreciate this, like letting me come here, dude. And I'm super excited for you, dude, that this is your new shop.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's gonna come of it, dude. And I can't wait to work with you. You know. for the
Well,
next
before
coming-
we sign off, can we talk about the shop a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude. Whatever you want to do, man.
Ask me questions. I need prompts.
Okay. So let me get my cue cards, dude. Hold on. Let me see.
Marlboro.
Not sponsored by Marlboro. Dude. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, because I got caught up in like the emotion of what we were talking about. But
Okay.
now
I told you I'd make you cry.
dude, I almost did. I almost fucking did it. I almost did. But also I've been drinking a little bit. So now that this is your shop, dude, like what plans do you have for the future plans?
So, like I said, I think, what was it? Maybe like 8 months ago, I said I want a tattoo shop, right? And I was like,
And you
we're gonna-
fucking got it, dude.
Yeah, she was. I told her, I go, and actually, I wanted this shop. This is the one I wanted, and so because I told you, my grandfather's house is across the street. So you know,
So it means something to you.
it
to be
does
that
mean
close.
something to me. Yeah, it's literally like 4 houses down that way. So I've always seen this shop when I would leave his house. I just wanted to be here. That's the HEB he went to. That's the Whataburger he go to. I just kind of wanted this shop, and but you know, obviously it's taken. So I looked at other ones. Didn't resonate with me. I had other shop owner that I was kind of looking to go into business with.
Okay.
It didn't really work out.
Yeah.
Not for any bad reason. It just wasn't right. We couldn't
Yeah.
really find a spot.
Okay.
But then Cruz Foster is the owner of Crooked Crows. He's the one who started it. He was looking to move, and so I went to an event one day, and he happened to be there, and I was like,
What kind of event? What?
It was actually I guess it was like an anniversary party for Black Line Tattoos.
Oh,
and Cruz
okay.
was there.
That's cool, man.
Cruz was there cooking and selling corn.
That's fucking dope, bro.
And
I know you laugh, but that was probably like one of his hustles, right? He's like, "Hey, I got you."
he
bro."
loves.
That's so
he loves-
sick, dude.
So I saw him, and like, I mean, I knew him back when he was like fresh into tattooing. He tattooed my hand actually like maybe 12 to 14 years ago, man. I mean, yeah, like probably 14 years ago. I think it was like 19.
Yeah.
And phenomenal tattoo artist. He's built a great brand. He's apprenticed some great people. And he's always grinding and similar, you know, he's like, he does the tattoos, he's doing his streaming.
Okay.
He has a knack for like marketing, I think.
Yes, dude, that's sick.
And I loved the vibe that he had here was very similar. It's not exactly the same as me, but like similar,
Right,
you know?
right.
So I hit him and I was like, man, I know you're trying to move because he's looking to go to Florida. And I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do with your shop, but if you'd ever be interested in selling it, like I'd be interested. And I just put it out there, and this was like several months back, you know, and I didn't hear anything from him. And then just one day he was like, hey, would you really be interested in that? Because
That's so fucking cool, dude.
and I was like, fuck yeah. And it came like at the perfect moment because we were selling the dog salon.
Yeah.
So I was getting some money from that. And I was like, man, I can just take that, put it right over here.
Yeah.
And it's just a wash and then I can come in. But so that was my first step. But really, I wanted to do the tattoo care brand, have a tattoo shop to push it and give some legitimacy and authority to the brand of RIP, but also give these guys a great shop to be at because I have multi streams of revenue coming in. So I'm not going to be like Mr. Krabs over here, money, like trying to get every little dollar I can out of these guys, getting them like crappy percentages or crappy setups, you know.
But it's like you distribute the revenue evenly so everybody's happy.
Exactly.
Right?
That's like what I
Dude,
told them.
that's
I said,
fucking sick, man.
I said, man,
I love that.
this shop could make $0 all year, and I can still pay the rent for everything.
Dude. Damn, Blake.
So-
Dude, you're fucking badass.
So
bro.
but that's a big thing, you know.
Right.
Like a lot of shop owners, they're month to month, and so and I'm not saying that to be like, you know, whatever. It's just that was my plan, but really the long plan is I wanted to do that. I want to set up a few tattoo shops, have good, basically good environments for the artists, good percentages,
Keep 'em happy,
or
too.
booth rent or
Yeah.
whatever. You know, we're gonna figure out. But really, the long run, I want to do my own tattoo convention. That's the 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah.
Because,
Dude, you gotta let me play some acoustic songs on that one, dude.
absolutely.
I know what we're gonna say. Go ahead. Sorry.
But that's because back in the day there was a thing. It was called the Stone Oak Winter Festival.
Oh, really?
My mom put that on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she started that when everyone was like, "That's stupid." It became this huge festival that they did for years and years and years. So I have, and I would help her with that. So I have the planning experience for
Yeah.
expos, conventions, stuff like that. I just didn't really have the product per se to put out there.
Yeah.
But I'm getting more involved in conventions now. I'm sending my sponsor guys like
Good,
crews out
man.
to, we went to Villa and Arch just, you know, this, I guess 2 weekends back.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit more conventions this year, learn more from those. But in like 2-3 years, I want to do our own tattoo convention.
Okay.
Invite our own artists in, have RIP as the big sponsor of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and just do like either like a RIP tattoo convention or something of that nature.
That actually sounds cool, dude. I back that up 100%. RIP Tattoo Kit Convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that's fucking awesome. Blake. I didn't know you were doing all that, dude, behind the scenes, man.
That's I have all these little like, this is my goal, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
and like, it's like there's a goal and there's like question mark. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I want to get here after that, and like question mark. I don't know if you've seen that South Park one with the underpants gnomes. It's like this. It's this one where like these gnomes come and like steal underpants from like kids at night.
So stupid, dude.
And basically it's like, well, where do you know? It's always like, well, I'm always missing, you know, underpants, and it's like, well, when it gets lost in the washer, these gnomes come and like steal them or whatever. And they're like, well, why do you guys steal them? And they have like a graph, and it's like step 1, steal the underpants. Like step 2, like bring it back to base. Step 3, it's like question mark. Step 4, profit. And so that's me. I'm like, step 3 is a little iffy, but we're gonna figure that out, and we'll get over here to where we want to be. So.
Yeah. How much time we got? 6 minutes. Okay, I'll keep it short, dude. But like, dude, you know what's crazy is like I think I fucked up pretty bad because I took out my 401k. I didn't invest it. I mean, I got my LLC, and I paid my bills for a little bit because like I lost my job, right? So I wasn't working. I paid my bills, you know. But it was like 17 grand.
Okay.
And like I feel like I could have got more tattoos because you asked me earlier dude, the last time I got a tattoo, bro, was like this, and that was like 13 years ago, dude. I would have loved to get more tattoos, dude. I want to be like covered up, bro. But it's like I never set aside money like to budget the money for that. So Oh shit, I lost my train of thought, dude.
You good.
I think I was going with that, and then I was gonna say, man, I'll change the subject. It's like,
If you seduce a tattoo artist, that works too. Free tattoos.
nah, man, they gotta eat too, brother. I believe everybody's gotta eat. Oh, I remember what I was going with this, but like, I feel like now there's still time for like to redeem myself, especially spending time around like successful people. I just feel like there's just like bad spending habits that I need to like stop.
Yeah.
And I never had like anybody help me budget, but like I feel like that's something that I can still fix.
Yeah.
You know
Budgeting's
what I
a
mean?
big one, man.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude. And like to see like your success, dude. In my opinion, I think you're successful, man. You might not think so, maybe you do, but from the outside looking in, dude, I think you are. And just seeing this, dude, now that you have a shop, bro, like I'm proud of you, dude. Proud of you.
Appreciate that.
Like I know we haven't known each other very long, but just I would be proud of anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you did it yourself, dude.
I feel like you're that guy, and like I'm that guy too, where you see someone from high school, like on Facebook or something, and they're like doing something cool, and you haven't spoken to them in like, 15 years, but you're like, man, that's so badass. And, and you're just
dude.
like, you're excited for them, or like they're
Yeah.
having a kid, or like whatever, and you're like,
Absolutely.
oh man, I went to 8th grade with that person. That's awesome. They're doing that.
Absolutely.
And that's good.
Absolutely,
I do.
man.
I think you try to be realistic with yourself, but I think you're kind of like down on yourself a little bit, man.
My wife was saying that too, man. She says that like I feel like she says that like I don't value myself, or like I feel like I don't deserve like a lot of things. I don't know if it's from childhood trauma, but I guess when I think about that, it's because when I quoted you how much like I could do the job for it,
Yeah, it was
you know what I
dumb.
mean? That's probably something that I guess a part of that, man. And I feel like maybe my value is part of my productivity. Whatever productivity I can give is my value. And I think it's just childhood trauma, man. But I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to like I think right now, dude, in my mid 30s is where I'm trying to like change a lot of things about myself, because I don't want that to be the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want it to be positive. I want it to be growth. I want like something positive for my son to look up to, even though I don't have him all the time because he's with his mom and we're separated. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate, dude. But I really love that like you have your kids with you all the time, man. And it seems like because you have such a positive mindset, it rubs off on everyone else around you. So it just creates like a positive like environment.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean, dude? But Blake, thank you so much, dude, and like thank you for bringing me to this shop. It's fucking badass.
Yeah.
But can you give tell the people on the camera, dude, where they can find this shop, where they can find you on Instagram, where they can find RIP Tattoos, also sponsored by RIP Tattoo Care. I'm gonna keep saying that. But yeah, dude, if you can tell them everything that they can find you, everything that you're doing that you would like them to see.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so I guess let's start from the top. RIP Tattoo Care, you can find that at riptattoocare.com. We sell numbing creams, different ointments, things like that for your aftercare process. Also different supplies for tattoo artists. You can find that here at Crooked Crows. You can find that also at Black Line Tattoos and Alamo Medical Supply. And also Noir Sure, which is a little like a goth shop down.
for real?
Yeah, it's
That's
like
cool.
I think it's on San Pedro, I want to say. Yeah, on San Pedro. Past that, Crooked Crows is right here on 281 in Brook Hollow. We're open Tuesday through Saturday.
On Instagram too, Facebook.
Yeah, Crooked Crows Tattoo. You can follow us on there. We have some phenomenal artists. Check out their work. Come on in. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways, a lot of different, a lot of things are on the horizon. I'm very excited about it. We have a apparel line. It's called Coffin Crew Apparel.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of my little passion project. So I'll be making little designs on there that come from myself. So support it. You'll probably see a lot of times me wearing the shirts and stuff like that. But the final thing I do is I sell live crawfish. That's like my main gig.
Dude, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
So bars, restaurants, whatever. We boil crawfish. We sell live crawfish. Anything you want. I bring it in from Louisiana. I drive down there, pick it up. I bring it back.
Nice.
Bring it right to you, still live and kicking. So that's actually my main gig, or at least the main money gig.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we do.
Do you have any plans for the shop until the end of the year that you want to tell them to come check out for the shop, or no?
I think once I settle on a new logo,
Okay.
I want to do one day where free tattoos of that little logo.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna do a crow's foot and it's gonna be kind of like almost like a little like symbol.
Okay.
Cruz had a symbol that he used to do that was like it was like a dagger and a moon.
Okay.
I think for like the next iteration, I'm thinking a new symbol, just kind of that new you know, the
fresh start,
the handing off of the baton.
Yeah.
Crow Colts will come out and, you know, get new tattoos, all that stuff for free. That's going to be one I think I want to do. I think I want to do it this year too. I'll probably wait till after summer because people don't like getting tattooed during the summer sometimes, but that's going to be
fall,
one to look
winter.
out for. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, and then also before we sign off, one more thing, dude. I feel like I need to drop a little bit of weight before I can wear a tattooed DILF shirt.
Well, we got you one.
That was it. Oh.
You have like 10 seconds left. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for watching Talking with Churro, and shout out to Blake for coming through. Okay, bye.